how does CBOC review bond expenditures? With me today is Tom Rubin, and my first question to you, Tom, is what is the role of CBOC in reviewing bond expenditures?
Well, this will vary considerably depending on the size of the organization and the size of the program. But some things are basic to all of them. First of all, the CBOC should meet with the district and with the program people and facilities people to make sure that they have a facilities program and project management system in place. That starts with people, having experienced people with gray in their hair, wrinkles in their face, and dirt on their boots, who have been there and done that. Then you have to have the control systems. And there's a variety of automated systems that can work well, but they have to be there. They have to be in place. There have to be procedures, written procedures, and training of all of the people. That goes first. If the first thing you do is start to move dirt, you're going to be in big trouble. You need the systems and the people first. Okay. Then it depends on the size of the program. If you are a very large district, it will be impossible for the CBOC, no matter how large and how motivated and how expert, to go over every single project. So they are going to be relying on the systems, and they should be doing some tests. They should be doing some site visits. They should pick a few particular projects, particularly the ones that are going to be the most controversial or difficult, and try to follow those and see how they're going and see if there are problems. They should get regular reports from the project management people. And this should best be done on an exception basis. If things are on schedule, if they're on budget, then okay, fine, just tell us that. But if it's more than, say, a month or two behind schedule, or if it's more than 10% over budget and is eating in or is going through the contingency, then we want to know about it, and we want to know about it fast while there's still an opportunity to see things. We want to know if there's a change in scope. The report originally said this school was going to have a swimming pool. Well, if they take the swimming pool out, or if we aren't going to build as many classrooms or something like that, the CBOC should be informed of all changes in scope beyond a minor nature. Then comes the reporting. There is a constitutional and moral requirement that the CBOC report back to the public. At a minimum, this is done annually, but the more often it is done, the better. So the CBOC is required to have, by the state statute, to have its own website, and it should be constantly providing the minutes of the meeting and the reports and anything of importance that goes on, and putting that on the website, and then an annual, at a minimum, report to the stakeholders that's available on the website for all to see.
So, Tom, I have a question. The project manager, how frequently should he notify CBOC with their progress or their overruns or overscheduled? How are we talking every month, quarterly, semi-annually?
In most cases, I would recommend monthly. Now, this also depends on how often the BOC is meeting. We have some BOCs who have never been formed, never met. Well, obviously, that's not good enough. Annual is way, way, way not enough. Semi-annual, in my opinion, isn't enough. I would suggest quarterly at an absolute minimum. And where it's appropriate, where there's a bigger program or one that has more concerns, monthly or bi-monthly. But again, this is up to each CBOC. And there should be an oral report at each meeting. But before that, there should be a written report. And again, I recommend that you have exception reports. time, dime, shine. Is it on schedule? Is it on budget? And how is the project going? Are we getting what we originally contracted for? And are there any problems in execution? That's what you want reports on. So that's what you want. And again, you have to start with that. How is the system? Do we have the systems in place to control it? And then that should be reviewed periodically. And of course, you have your annual financial and performance audits, and those should also come directly to the CBOC. And the CBOCs should be involved in setting the scope. And the performance audit in particular, that will change regularly, what you want to look at. So those are the things that CBOC should be doing as minimum. And as always, we say, if you have any issues, if you have any questions, contact us at KBOC. We have people who have been doing this for a long time, and we'll be happy to come in and work with you.
Hi everyone, my name is Steve Bacchetti and I'm a partner at Moss Adams leading our construction performance audit team. Today I'll be answering two questions, the first being what items can be paid for from bond funds. As background, Proposition 39 was passed by California voters on November 7, 2000 and amended provisions to the California Constitution and California Education Code. The purpose and intent of the initiative was to implement class size reduction to ensure that our children learn in a secure and safe environment, and ensure that school districts are accountable for prudent and responsible spending for school facilities. But what are the accountability requirements for Proposition 39? First, present voters with a specific list that indicates how the money will be spent. Second, establish a Citizens Oversight Committee to oversee the spending and reporting of such expenditures to the public. And finally, districts cannot use funds for teacher and administrative salaries or operating expenses. Specifically, the California Constitution and California Education Code states that the proceeds from the sale of school facility bonds are used for specified school facility projects only and not for teacher and administrative salaries and other school operating expenses. Opinion number 04110 clarifies on allowable district employee labor, which states that a school district may use Proposition 39 school bond proceeds to pay the salaries of district employees to the extent they perform administrative oversight work on construction projects authorized by a voter-approved bond measure. In summary, allowable expenditures are those directly related to the listed projects and district employees performing administrative oversight work on the listed projects. Next, how do we review bond expenditures? As previously discussed, allowable expenditures are those directly related to the listed projects. Common bond expenditures may include construction contractors, architects, engineers, inspectors, third-party construction managers, district labor, project management, union labor, equipment, which may include third-party or contractor-owned equipment, materials, subcontractors, etc. The construction expenditure type determines how we evaluate it for compliance with the requirements and what we would consider sufficient appropriate evidence to support the expenditure. Our general bond program request list includes items such as facilities organizational charts, including both district and third-party bond program managers, master plan documents, program policies and procedures, staffing plans, performance tracking, expenditure reports, labor reports, purchase order logs, sampled contracts, change orders, payment applications, lien waivers, labor charges, check register reports, etc. With this information, we can confirm whether the expenditure is substantiated. For change orders, specifically, it's important to understand the root cause of the change. The change order should be approved by appropriate parties, such as the district, the architect and engineer, if applicable, and the general contractor. They should also be fully substantiated with itemized estimates and assumptions. For labor, detailed timekeeping of hours worked and actual cost incurred is important to validate and to confirm compliance with the requirements. We also use the information provided to confirm use of best practices, for example, competitive bidding for procurement and compliance with public contracting code. compliance with legal requirements for prevailing wage, assessment of payment procedures and payment processing time to validate compliance with the California Prompt Payment Act, review of program and construction management structure, including staff and fee, to ensure your program is staffed efficiently and effectively, use of various construction project delivery methodologies and contract types to ensure you're leveraging the most appropriate method and contract type for your program. When reviewing expenditures, it's important to have consideration of all these factors and documents to ensure any potential finding has sufficient appropriate evidence to provide a reasonable basis for the finding. I hope you find this information helpful.